welcome to Ensemble Moliere's first virtual concert in our Hidden Gems series. In this series, we aim to shine some light on neglected or unknown French Baroque composers and their music. Today, Satoko and I have prepared a selection of pieces on flute and harpsichord by Pierre Gaultier. Pierre Gaultier lived in France from about 1642 to 1696, which makes him a contemporary of Lully. He was born in La Ciotat, near Marseille, and is often referred to as Pierre Gaultier de Marseille to avoid any confusion with a great deal of other Pierre Gaultiers, especially the lutenist and composer Pierre Gaultier of Orléans, who lived from 1599 until about 1638. Our Pierre Gaultier was a respected keyboardist who is said to have learnt with Jacques Champion de Chambonnières, one of France's leading keyboardists of the 17th century. Most of Gaultier's life was spent in South France, where he was in charge of opera performances from 1685 until his death. One little remark about the instrumentation of the duos is that the title Duo pour les flûtes et pour les violons in those days most likely referred to recorders. The keys of the suites, D, G and C minor, also suggest the recorder. However, I found that the pieces also work beautifully on the traverso, and that the sound of the many flats enhances in particular the melancholy of the slow movements.
Before the first opera performance under the direction of Pierre Gaultier could take place in Marseille in January 1685, Gaultier had to obtain expensive performance rights from Lully in Paris. Following this, however, Pierre Gaultier spent several years producing operas composed by Lully and by himself in South France, including not only Marseille, but also in Aix, Aix, Toulon, Montpellier and Avignon. During one of the longer performance stretches in Avignon in 1688, it is possible that Gaultier spent some time in prison for unpaid debts. Who knows, maybe it had to do with the expensive fees laid out by France's leading opera composer Lully. According to Baller, who published Gaultier's duos and trios, the third suite of duos was composed while spending time in Avignon prison.
In 1696, after a successful run of shows in Montpellier, Gaultier and his entire company were set to sail back to Marseille from Sète. A fatal storm caused the ship to sink, killing everyone on board. Even though the music of Gaultier's operas is lost, it is our luck that the famous Parisian publisher Christophe Ballard took it into his own hands to publish today's only surviving music by Pierre Gaultier de Marseille, a set of duos and a set of trios. These were published in 1707, the same year that the first edition of Hotteterre's Principes de la flûte traversière, de la flûte à bec, et du hautbois were published also by Ballard. It speaks for the suites of Gaultier that Hotteterre seemingly recommended them at the start of his book, as perfect examples for students who had acquired a basic knowledge of style from his Principes. However, since this recommendation can only be found in the introductions to the first two editions, from 1707 and 1720, I wonder if it wasn't a sales coup by Ballard himself. Nevertheless, we have found these pieces extremely beautiful and charming, and would recommend them to anyone who is fond of French Baroque music.